We're excited about rolling out Hutchdocs to all students in the USD 308 school district. And today we're going to talk to you about how to get started with your account. So the first thing you do after you've gotten your laptop and you've signed onto the internet is you need to go to drive.google.com. And once you're there, you need to sign in with your email address. Now everyone has been assigned an email address, and it is the same username and password that you use to log into the computer. Now for you guys, obviously your username starts with your grad year and then the first four letters of your last name. It will be followed with @hutchdocs.com. Now my username is going to look a little bit different because I am using a fake student account. But the @Hutchdocs is the same. And then your password is the same one you use to get on the computer. So once you've typed both of those in, click on Sign In. And typically when you log in for the first time, you're going to see a Welcome to Google Docs window, and it will have a little blue Accept button at the bottom of it. And once you've accepted it, you'll be taken to this window right here. Now we'll take a little tour of Google Drive, and I want to kind of show you what it's all about. First, if you come over to the red Create button, you're going to see several different options. Folder lets you create, obviously, folders, and I will show you how to do that in just a few minutes. Your document button allows you to create documents, and that is just like Microsoft Word. Presentations is just like PowerPoint. Spreadsheet, just like Excel. Form would be like SurveyMonkey and other different online surveys that you can find on the web. And drawing is your drawing tool. Here's another quick way to create folders. However, if you use this button, sometimes you create a folder within a folder. And we'll talk about that again in just a minute, but to be on the safe side, typically I suggest coming over here to use the Create button. It makes things just a little bit easier. Over here on this side, you have several other different options. You have a sort option. You have a different way to view your information. So you can view it in folders or you can view it in a list. And you have your settings. Now the first thing that I want you to do in your drive on your settings is I would like you to click this little arrow and scroll down to Upload Settings and scroll over and click on Convert Upload Files to Google Docs format. And that means anything that you drag and drop into Google Drive can be shared. This is going to be key later on, I promise. Another thing that's important in the settings feature is that it allows you to add, you can put your picture in here, you can look at keyboard shortcuts here, and then right up here is where you log out. You should see your username, and this is where you would sign out as well. We're not going to do that right now, but I did want to show you where that feature is because you want to sign out every time you're ready to log off the computer. This is key because this is your navigation system right here, okay? If you click on those dots, this is where you get to your Gmail account. Now it's called Hutchdocs because we want to be able to own it. We want to be able to own the domain, okay? And we want to be able to put all of our students and our faculty in the same email system. That's why we called it Hutchdocs. But basically all it is Gmail and Google Drive. So here is your Gmail account. All of the students at Hutch High are in this Gmail system, as well as all of the staff. Now, please be sure that you use this Gmail just for school purposes. Here's your Google search. Here's your Google Drive. Again, that's what this page is right here. Here's a calendar. You can create websites right here. Groups, which we'll talk about at a later date. Contacts, which we'll talk about later. And then down here under the More tab, you have other things that you can use. Right down here, these are accounts that have already been set up for you in Google Drive. So, just some ways that you can navigate. Now, your English teachers, I know for sure, would like to set up folders for you. So here's what we're going to do. I'd like everybody to click on Create for me and click on Folder. Name that folder whatever your teacher has told you to name it. Typically, it will be English and then your hour. So I'm going to put 1 just for examples purposes. And then the try number. And then click on Create. And then here's my folder right here. Now, this is a hand-in folder that I'm creating. That means anything that I put in this folder, my teacher is going to be able to see. Now, in order for me to allow my teacher to see anything that I put in this folder, I have to share the folder with my teacher. To be able to do that, I'm going to hover over the folder and I'm going to right-click on it. And when I do that, I get this pop-up window, and I'm going to scroll down to Share, and then I get a pop-up window that comes, and I'm going to click on the second share right over here. When I see that next share come up down here under Invite People, I'm going to type my teacher's name. So for instance, if my teacher's name is, and I think we would need to type in Jean. So if it's Gusty Smith, I would type in Jean, and here's her name. And I want to make sure I leave Can Edit on. And I would click Share and Save. And then I will click Done. Now what I should notice is, see how the picture on my folder has changed? Now all of a sudden I have the head and shoulders of a little person on my folder. That tells me that I have shared that folder with my teacher. Now some of you might not immediately see that head and shoulders because you're all sharing this folder at the same time, and sometimes Google Drive takes just a little bit to catch up with all of you because you're quicker than it is, okay? But eventually you should all see that folder. Another little tip about Google Drive is that if you end up with a lot of different folders, you can color coordinate them by right-clicking and coming down here to change color, and you can change it to whatever color you'd like to change it to. Now here's the deal. Anything you put in this folder, your teacher can see. So you want to be careful with that, okay? So let's say that we want to create another folder for English that we just want to keep our English stuff in. We don't want to turn it into her. We just want to keep our papers in there as we work on them. Again, come back over to Create, Folder. You can just call it English. Notice the difference. There's a head and shoulders on this one, but there's not on this one. Again, I could color coordinate it if I wanted to, and I could make it red. And I can tell the difference because, again, this one has the head and shoulders on it. It also has the word shared next to it, and this one does not. Now, if I want to create a document, I'm going to go back to Create. I'm going to come down to Document, and I want you guys to do the same thing. Once I click on Document, this is what I'm going to see. Now the first thing I want to do is title my document. And the way that I do that is I come right up here where it says Untitled Document, and I click on that. And I'm going to name my document Practice. And then I'm going to name it my last name. Now I'm going to type a sentence to my English teacher telling her why I am going to be her favorite student this trimester. Hopefully you're doing the same. Okay, now that I've typed my sentence, I'm going to give you some tasks. The first thing that I would like for you to do is I would like for you to change the color of one of your words. The next thing that I would like for you to do is change the size of one of your words. The next thing I would like for you to do is change one of your words to bold. The next thing I would like for you to do is change the font of one of your words. All right. Basically, I wanted you to do that so that you could kind of walk through this word processing a little bit just to see what it had to offer. Okay? Now we've named our document, we've typed a sentence, and we've kind of played around with the functions just a little bit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our main Drive page. Now the way that we get back to our main Drive page is we just come over here and we click next to our title. See how it's lines? And then when I hover over it, it changes back into the Google Drive symbol. See how I can see Practice Riley right here? If I want to turn this into my English teacher, all I have to do is left click and drag it up to my shared folder and let go. See how it's disappeared? I can't see it anymore. But if I double click on my folder, there it is. Because I have shared this folder with my teacher, there's the head and shoulders on it, and I just dragged that document into that folder, she can see it now on her computer. That is what is so fabulous about Google Drive. Anytime you want to share a document with anybody, if you're collaborating on a project or you're working on a PowerPoint together or you're peer editing a paper, you share it with each other and you can work on it together. It's really quite incredible. You don't have to go to each other's houses anymore to work on projects. You don't have to move your desks together in a room anymore. You can simply share the document, sit at your computer, and work on it together. Colleges are doing this. Companies are doing this. It really is a 21st century skill that you need. I hope this has given you a little bit of an introduction to Google and Google Drive. And if you've got any more questions, just let me know. Have your teacher contact me and I'd be happy to come over and help you guys out. Thank you.